We're with Frankie Corrado, and since Canada won the Four Nations face-off, it's been months of debate about who makes the Olympic team, who doesn't, and so on. And finally, Frankie, we're less than 48 hours from puck drop. So let's see how Canada's first opponent stacks up. Czechia may not have the same depth as Canada, but they definitely do have firepower up front, especially on their top line.
It's a really good top line. It's Thomas Hertl, it's Martin Necas, it's David Pastrnak, three really good players. And where does that threat lie for Team Canada? Mostly off the rush. There's a lot of speed there. David Pastrnak can create. As we know, Martin Necas has been unbelievable since joining the Colorado Avalanche. And Thomas Hertl is a force down the middle of the ice, a big part of the success that the Vegas Golden Knights have year in and year out. It's always going to be a question of how close can teams bridge the gap to Team Canada, because we know Team Canada has such an advantage over every other team. The team that they wouldn't have as much of an advantage over is Team USA. So if you look at this Czech team, there's some stars up front. There's not that much going on below that. So Team Canada has to be aware when those players are on the ice. And ultimately, it feels like with that top line for Czechia, it could be rush opportunities, it could be one-and-done chances, but you can't let your guard down against those types of players because they're dangerous snipers and they can make you pay. That's where a lot of Team Canada's focus is going to lie in that game.
Okay, but you did imply Czechia's back end. There is a pretty big gap, and just how much of an advantage will that be for Canada?
That's going to be really significant. Only two defensemen on Czechia's back end are NHL players as of right now. It's Radko Gudas and it's Filip Hronek. Outside of that, you do have a couple players that did play in the NHL fairly recently. Jan Ruda, Michael Kempny, but that's going to be an area where teams struggle against Canada. And if you look at the way Canada is going to line things up, potentially having Sidney Crosby as the third line center playing with Mark Stone and Mitch Marner, they're going to eat up that matchup lower in the lineup. So you're going to be asking a lot from some players for Czechia when it comes to checking the likes of Crosby or McKinnon or even players on the fourth line for Team Canada. It's not going to be an easy assignment for them. That's where Canada is going to have to really take advantage of the Czechs. And, you know, even the NHL players that they do have on the back end, like Radko Gudas, older guy, not the best feet. Filip Hronek's having a really good year on the, call it underachieving, poor performing Vancouver Canucks. There's a lot of opportunity to take advantage of that back end.
Yeah, there sure is. And then a common theme in this tournament, Frankie, could be Canada's goaltending. So how do you think Czechia's trio of Lukas Dostal, Karel Vejmelka, and Dan Vladar stack up?
They're really good. That's the strength of Team Czechia, is the fact that they have three goalies that are among the better statistical goalies in the NHL. But here's the thing. Only one goalie can play at a time. So it's great that you have depth and three guys that are having nice seasons, but who's going to get in the net and find a way to steal you a game? Dostal has the highest ceiling of both of these goalies. Vejmelka's been good in Utah. Vladar has been a revelation with the Philadelphia Flyers, keeping them in many, many games. It almost feels like if Vladar is in net, it's similar to what he faces sometimes with the Philadelphia Flyers, where they're an offensively challenged team. They have to keep games close. He's going to be the one that has to do it. So we'll see how things shake out in the crease. And Lukas Dostal is a really young, emerging goalie in the NHL. He has had some unbelievable performances where he's had to stand on his head and essentially win his team the game. So I would imagine it's going to be very busy for whichever goalie plays in that game. And let's call it what it is. On paper, the depth of Team Czechia in net is really good. But is it going to be enough to withstand the offensive firepower of a Team Canada? That remains to be seen.
It does. They're likely going to have to stand on their head, Frankie. Canada is minus 600 to win their opener on FanDuel. Big favorites, but this will be by far their most competitive game in the preliminary round, with France and Switzerland up next.